My sister stole my fiancé. 3 years later, she laughed at dinner until my husband walked in. The weight of the invitation in my purse felt heavier with every step as I approached the entrance of Ravenwood Estates, watching my sister Selena stand like a guard at the doors of what used to be our family's favorite restaurant. Through the glass, I could already hear my parents' laughter spilling from the elegant dining room. The same place where I had once celebrated my engagement, before everything crumbled. "You can't possibly think you're welcome here," Selena whispered sharply, her voice dripping with the same condescending tone I remembered so well. She smoothed her emerald green cocktail dress, an imitation I immediately recognized from the designs my stylist had shown me, and blocked the doorway. "This is Ravenwood Estates, Marissa. The wine pairings alone cost more than you probably earn in a month." If only she knew. I had personally selected those pairings with our sommelier during last month's menu revision. "It's Mom's birthday," I replied, steadier than expected. The small velvet box in my clutch, the one holding the keys to a luxury villa in Cape Haven, one of Ravenwood's most exclusive private retreats, felt heavier than stone. "My name is Marissa. I'm 35, and I'm a hospitality entrepreneur. This is the story of how I reclaimed my seat at a table I actually owned." "Mom and Dad were clear," Selena continued, checking her reflection in the glass. "They only want successful people tonight. People who won't embarrass the family." Her eyes swept over my simple black dress with clear disdain. "People who've moved forward with their lives." The irony was bitter. Just yesterday, I had signed off on a $150 million expansion of Ravenwood Group. Yet here I was, told I wasn't worthy of entering my own flagship restaurant. 3 years ago, when Selena announced she was marrying my fiancé, Derek, during Thanksgiving, the family had rallied around her. "Sometimes love just happens," my mother had said. As if Derek hadn't been planning our wedding just weeks earlier. I had left town to recover, letting them all assume I'd disappeared into obscurity. But in reality, I built Ravenwood Hospitality Group into one of the most successful luxury restaurant and resort empires on the East Coast. The so-called heartbroken ex-fiancé now owned 42 fine dining establishments across 5 states. "Marissa." My mother's sharp voice cut through as she appeared behind Selena. "What are you doing here? We talked about this. You can't just show up." Actually, they had talked about it. That very morning, I'd received a text from her. "Don't come to dinner. It's at Ravenwood Estates. You can't afford it. And seeing Derek and Selena will upset you." "I brought a gift," I said quietly, holding up the velvet box. "Oh, what is it?" Selena sneered. "A gift card to Olive Garden? Or maybe something from Walmart?" My mother's eyes narrowed at my clutch, a handmade Italian leather piece worth more than Selena's car. "Whatever it is, I'm sure it's thoughtful. But tonight is about family, and seeing you will only remind everyone of that unpleasant situation with Derek." That unpleasant situation. As though my fiancé leaving me for my sister was nothing more than gossip. "You know how well Selena's been doing," Mom added. "Her promotion at the marketing firm, the beautiful house in Greenwich, the stunning engagement ring Derek gave her, twice the size of yours. She gave me a once-over. And you? Well, at least you're trying." I thought of my Manhattan penthouse, my vintage wine collection, the private jet I'd flown in on that morning. "Yes, Mom," I said softly. "At least I'm trying." Selena smirked. "And that dress? Couldn't you at least make an effort?" "This is Ravenwood Estates, not some diner you probably work at." I ran my hand over the sleek black silk, custom-made in Milan by a designer who had refused to work with Selena last month. "It's what I could manage," I said mildly. "Well, you can't come in," she snapped. "We booked the private dining room. Family only." "The private dining room?" I asked evenly. "You mean my private dining room? The one I redesigned myself last year, down to the chandeliers and crystal?" "Oh, you wouldn't know the guests," my mother waved dismissively. "The Whitakers, the Hawthorns, Mr. Lambert from National Trust Bank. All very important people." I hid a smile. James Whitaker was finalizing a lease for 3 of my properties. The Hawthorns had just applied for membership at my resort. And Mr. Lambert's bank? Negotiating a multi-million-dollar loan with me. Yes, I said smoothly. Very important. At that moment, Derek arrived, adjusting his tie. His face turned white when he saw me. Marissa. I didn't expect you here. Clearly not, I replied. Derek just made senior associate, Mom said proudly. Junior associate, I corrected silently. His firm was 6 months behind on rent for one of my buildings. It's still more than whatever you're doing, Selena cut in. Waitressing at some diner upstate? I thought of the board meeting I'd left earlier about acquiring Derek's building. Something like that, I said softly. This is ridiculous, Mom snapped. Marissa, leave. You're making everyone uncomfortable. Couldn't afford it, you mean? Selena added with a laugh, flashing her ring. I looked past them into the restaurant I'd built, marble floors, crystal chandeliers, curated wine cellars. All mine. For a moment, I nearly walked away. But then I remembered, success means nothing if you can't stand up for yourself. I straightened. Actually, I think I'll stay. The glass door opened, and Adrian, my head of security, stepped out. Everything okay, Ms. Carlyle? Your usual table is ready, and Chef Morales is waiting with the wine list. The silence was deafening. Selena's mouth dropped. My mother grabbed Derek's arm. Adrian, I smiled. Perfect timing. My family was just explaining how I couldn't afford to dine here. He frowned. But you own the entire chain. Yes. Yes, I do. I turned back to my family. Shall we? I believe you reserved the private dining room, my private dining room. Derek stammered. This is some kind of joke. You're just a waitress. You disappeared after you left me for my sister, I finished calmly. Adrian, perhaps you can clarify. Ms. Carlyle is the founder and CEO of Ravenwood Hospitality Group. She owns all 42 Ravenwood Estates restaurants, our resorts, and catering divisions. Selena's clutch slipped to the ground. But that's impossible. Which makes your comment about wine pairings rather amusing, I said, walking past them. The staff straightened. Good evening, Ms. Carlyle, the maître d' called. The Windsor room is ready for your mother's birthday. Thank you, André. My family trailed behind me in stunned silence, greeted by staff who all knew my name. But, your dress, Mom stammered. Custom Milan, I said lightly. 40,000, I think. Unlike Selena's knockoff. The real Valentino doesn't release until next month, I know, because I attended the private showing. The elevator doors opened, leading us into the Windsor room. The party froze when I entered. Marissa, my father gasped. Your mother said you couldn't afford. To afford what, Dad? I cut in. Happy birthday, Mom. I hope you don't mind me crashing my own restaurant. Your restaurant. Mr. Lambert's face lit up. Ms. Carlyle, I didn't know you were part of the Gray family. We've been desperate to meet about that loan. Marissa owns Ravenwood Estates. James Whittaker exclaimed. Robert, your daughter, is the CEO buying all the prime real estate. My father sank into his chair, pale. All this time, we thought you were just struggling. When my fiancé left me for my sister, I corrected. Yes. I've been struggling terribly. Mom clutched her pearls. But why didn't you tell us? Would you have believed me? I asked. 3 years ago, when I needed you, you told me to get over it. Why would I share my success now? Though by your own metric money, I suppose I'm worth more than everyone in this room combined. Selena slumped pale into her chair. The spa weekend in Napa I tried to book. Mine, I confirmed. Just like the building Derek's firm occupies. My father whispered, we had no idea. Save it, I said. I didn't reveal this to hurt you. I revealed it because I'm done hiding my success. I raised my voice. Please, enjoy the celebration. Everything is on the house. My house. I turned. Oh, and Mom, this gift. I opened the velvet box. Keys to a villa in Cape Haven. Consider it from your daughter who supposedly couldn't afford to be here. The rest of the night was surreal. Guests swarmed me with business pitches. My family sat in stunned silence. Derek made frantic calls. Selena's social standing crumbled. Mom tried to rewrite history. I always knew she'd succeed. Later, on the terrace, Derek asked quietly, "Those buildings, how many do you own?" "Enough," I replied. "Including the one my firm leases?" "Yes." He swallowed. "I was wrong. So wrong. Can you forgive me?" "Forgiveness isn't the issue, Derek. Trust is. You humiliated me. You made me believe I wasn't enough." "I know. I was a coward." "You were," I agreed. "But you made your choice. Now you live with it." I left him there, alone. Selena caught me later, mascara smeared. "Marissa, wait. I owe you an apology. I was jealous. You always had everything: intelligence, drive, potential. When Derek noticed me, I felt like I was winning. But I destroyed your life to feel better about mine. I've regretted it every day since." I studied her face. For once, there was no arrogance. Just remorse. "You're right," I said softly. "I did have to build it alone. And I'm grateful now, because everything I have, I earned." "I don't expect forgiveness," she whispered. "I just needed you to know I'm sorry." "Thank you," I said. "It doesn't change what happened. But it means something." Later, my parents approached, older somehow. "Marissa, we need to talk," Mom said softly. "We were wrong about everything. About Derek, about your career, about you. We failed you, and we're sorry." "It's not too late," I said at last. "But it will take effort. Real effort." 3 months later, I stood in the same restaurant, but everything was different. We were celebrating the opening of my 5th new location. My family was there, not as my judges, but as my guests. Selena and Derek had quietly divorced. She started therapy and rebuilding her life. He'd moved across the country. They'd both written apologies, though I only responded to hers. My parents truly made an effort. They attended my award ceremonies, met my staff, even volunteered at one of my restaurant programs. "You know," my father said one evening, "I used to think success meant playing it safe. I was wrong. I'm proud of you. Not just for what you've built, but for who you've become." I smiled, remembering the woman I had been: scared, heartbroken, doubting her worth. That woman was strong too. She just hadn't realized it yet. "Thank you," I said. "That means more than you know." Later, in my office, overlooking the city I had conquered, I glanced at the velvet box. I'd never given Mom those keys. I kept them as a reminder of how far I'd come. My phone buzzed. "Investors from Chicago want a meeting about West Coast expansion. Also, someone here says he's an old friend from college." I smiled, gathering my things. There was always another challenge. Another opportunity. Another chance to prove that the girl who had been left behind had become the woman who left everyone else behind. But first, I had a restaurant empire to run.